Okay, we're going to be talking about the Suzuki LT-A50. This is your kid's quad, yep. Okay, here we go. One of the things that I was looking for and couldn't find is about the oil block-offs for the LT-50 and the LT-80. So we're going to start with the 50. Here is the 50. I've already torn it down, and I'm getting ready to reassemble it. You can see I've pulled the top cover off right here where the oil pump inlet goes. I'll show you the rest of it here in a second. And this is just a side note, air intake. We'll get into that later, which fits a nice K&N filter. And if you know from stock, the plastic housing with a little piece of foam in it, yeah, wasn't all that great. Okay, back to the oil. So there is the oil intake, and here is the rest of it. This is the cap. Here is... Now, I have a white little Pico cap covering it because we had blocked it off, but I wanted to take it a step further and pull out as much of the guts as I could because there's no point in having any of the extra drag and the parts spinning around with no oil going in there. So I pulled the cap, and where'd it go? Right here. This sits underneath the cap, like so, and then this goes like so. So when you open it up, you'll see this sitting in there, riding around. That engages into the piece that you see down below, that wedge, and then it spins around, and this is on a spring. So I went ahead and took that out. I tried to give a pull on the inside piece down here, and I looked it up on the schematics. It doesn't seem to want to come out. You may have to split the cases in order to remove it. I think it's locked in with the gears down below, so at that point, we're not going to split cases for it. We're just going to leave that, but we're going to remove the middle piece so we just have less turning. Okay, so that being said, we take this off, throw it off to the side, put it in a plastic bag, save it for later because you never know what might happen down the road. You might need it. Go ahead and take this off. What we're going to do is we're going to replace that. Now, the LT-80, they do make a block-off plate, although I could not find it for an LT-50. That being said, we got a matching thread Phillips. The reason I went with the Phillips is it's got the nice wide head on it. And we put a copper washer. That way I kept these washers that came with the oil injection inlet together. Phillips head, metric threads. That way we fit these here. I'm going to use... This is a little high-temp silicone that I bought to work on the 250R. I figured, why not? I just want to take and put an ever-so slight bit on this top here, on the gasket, and here, and at the very top of these threads. I don't really want to go into these a whole lot and gum it up if I decide to tear it apart later. I just want to make sure the top is sealed, so in the event that I'm washing it, we don't get any water down into our case. And then once I put that in here and get it sealed up, we'll take the 2 screws that it came with, we'll put it back on there, and they have, you can see part of it's still stuck here. There's a regular gasket in between that and the case, so that should keep you nice and dry. And that's basically what I'm going to do to remove the as much as I can of the oil injection. I'm pre-mixing, and the reason I'm pre-mixing is I already have 2 other bikes that a 250R, the LT-80, and the LT-A50, which are all using a 2-stroke gas. So for me, since I'm pre-mixing the 250R, it makes it more simple to do. I can just use one mix for everything, and I'm not having to worry about, is there oil in it? Injector, did it plug? From what I understand, you know, when they work, they seem to work fine, although I have seen where they seem like they over oil, and then, you know, it leads to a lot of excess oil buildup, and I've seen some exhausts that people have pulled apart and they're just packed. And so that being said, for me, this works great. This is what I'm going to do, and you know, hang on to your parts. You never know when you might need them. One other thing, so to give you an idea, since it's already apart, we'll go ahead and start it up. Oh, helps if you turn the key on. Yeah, turn your key on. It makes a big difference. So you can see the oil gear in there, and as soon as the wheels start turning, you can see it start to go around. So that being said, you know, that's turning the whole time. And if you look on the bottom side, this is where this goes. You can see where that's just constantly riding around, and you've got no oil coming in from the top. So I just don't see any reason to leave it in there. So that being said, we're going to go ahead and put it all together, put the cap back on, seal it up, and we're good to go. I will do another short video here on the air intake and the performance mods that I did, that one of the companies offers that you can buy as a kit, and tell you what I think.